Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Ray coming to you from the PDC. I know it's been a little while since I've seen you guys and I've been on here for a live workout. Probably a lot to talk about, but want to get right to it today because I'm a little short on time. Today we're going to be doing a HIIT workout that's going to cover total body. As far as equipment goes, what you can use today, I'm going to show a barbell, but you can also use dumbbells or kettlebells as an alternative, or a medicine ball, or if you have nothing, you can do body weight for some of the things that we're going to do today. How it's structured, 3 supersets. So we're going to combine 2 exercises. We're going to go through 2 sets of each superset. And like I said, it's mainly total body today. There's some legs, there's some upper body, there's some core involved. I'll coach some modifications as we go through it today. First time through will be kind of a trial run. You guys can decide what you want to do for weight, for the amount of reps, the amount of rest that we're going to do. But the first thing I want to show you guys is a nice hip and lower body focused dynamic warm-up. It's called a mobility flow. So it's going to get our heart rate up, and it's going to warm up primarily our entire body as we go through it. So if you're at home right now, what I want you guys to do is just have a seat on the floor. Preferably, like if you have carpet, that's going to be ideal. It's easier on the knees. As you can see, I have a couple mats down. If you're on harder floor, just make sure you have some mats, or if you have rubber mats at home, definitely use that. It's going to be a lot easier on the knees. So just have a seat on the floor, and I'll take you guys through this here. There may be times where I go a little off screen, but we're just going to take a seat, hands back, stance is a little wider than our hips with our knees bent, and we're just going to roll into a 90-90 position, and we're going to do the same thing going the other way. So this is the first part of the movement. We just want to warm up those hips by doing some internal, external rotation. So, all right now my left hip's turning out, my right hip's turning in. You're seeing the opposite in the camera. If you're getting to a point where your hips are kind of sticking, they don't want to go. Don't force it, just stop where it's comfortable and just go back and forth. Then you want to try, if you can, so we can work on the core here, take the hands away. So if you notice I'm doing a little butt walk forward, that's fine. So I actually got this warm up from Dean Somerset. He's one of the professionals I follow out of Canada. He's really good. Hip and shoulder guy, really good personal trainer, get a lot of good information from him. So just keep going with these hip rolls, and then we'll add a component. So the component that we're going to add, once we're to the side, come up on the knees. So kind of a half lunge position. This is why you want some padding down so it's easier on the knees. We're going to sit back, and we're going to roll to the other side and do the same thing. Come up. So like again, we're in that half lunge position, and then we're going to sit back. Nice easy roll. We're going to add in a component. So the hip roll, the half lunge, my trailing leg will step forward. So we're almost in a full lunge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rock forward and back a little bit to get both hips. Then I'm going to bring that knee back to the floor right by my foot. So I'm back in that half lunge position. Have a seat. Roll. Now we're back in that hip roll. Back up into that half lunge. My trailing leg steps forward. So I'm in a full lunge. And I'm going to lean, get that back hip. I'll go back and forth a little bit. So as you can tell, my heart rate's coming up a little bit, so we want to just chain this together. Roll the hips, half lunge, full lunge. Now we're going to add a squat. So to do that, my back leg, I'm just going to get down into a deep squat position here. As deep as I can hold, I'm going to kind of shift my weight around. The knee goes back down. I'll put my hand down first, and I'll bring my knee down in front of the foot, back to the center, roll, come up into that half lunge, back leg steps forward into the lunge, the knee that's down, we want to get onto our heel, nice deep squat, rocking back and forth, knee down, center. So that's just a different style warm-up. For me, it kills two birds with one stone. Like if I'm feeling really tight, especially my lower body on that sequence, my hips, my ankles, my knees, core, really kind of starts to feel better going through some of the movements that I may be doing in the actual workout today. And my heart rate's up. So we're kind of accomplishing more than one thing there. So I'm going to move these mats out of the way and then take you guys through this workout here. So, first circuit today, we're going to do a Zerker Squat, and I'll show you what that is, and a Zerker step back lunge. So Zerker, whatever you want to call it, is where we pin a barbell or a body bar in our elbows. So I'll show you that real quick. So I have a barbell in here. I also have a pad, so it's not so hard on my elbows. So normally if you had a rack in the gym, you could just walk up to it and pick it up. So I just have the bar here. What I'm trying to do is just pin it in against my chest, like I'm carrying, maybe I was carrying a log. I'm doing a lumberjack competition, right? No, so I've got this pinned in here. So if you don't have a barbell, what could you do? A goblet squat, holding a weight out in front will work just as well for this, okay? So dumbbell, kettlebell, medicine ball, if you have that, hold it in front. If you have a body bar or a barbell, just grab that, pin it in. So I'm going to show you the two movements that we're going to pair together. The first one is a squat. So I have my toes slightly out. I'm going to squat down, drive up. I'm keeping this tight in. That's the first movement. The second movement after we're done with our 10 reps is a step back lunge. So the balance is going to be a little tricky from this position. So using kettlebells or dumbbells is going to be a little bit easier. I'm going to step back, step up, and then I would switch to the other side trying to keep my balance. So that's the first two exercises. 10 squats, 10 step back lunges on each leg. So 20 total on the step back lunge. You're gonna see me get gassed in this. Do what works for you. If you have dumbbells, you have kettlebells or a medicine ball, just hold in the front and follow along with me. Here we go. Squat stance, core in tight. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right into a step back lunge. 20 total. So I'm going to do one side at a time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switching legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I'm going to set it down. And recover. Woo! Heart rate's up there. Grab some water if you need it. So just kind of to go over that circuit again. So that was a Zerker squat and step back lunge. For a squat, I'll use that with clients if they have shoulder mobility issues, back issues. That front rack position is a little more spine friendly. We can stay a little more upright. I would say you're limited though by how much weight can you hold in front versus up on your back. Same thing with the lunge. You know, the Zerker is going to present some issues there because the balance is definitely a little more tricky, a little more difficult. So versus holding weights at your side evenly, that's going to be a little bit easier, or holding one weight in the center versus the bar. So I'm just waiting for my heart rate to come back down. We wanted to rest about 90 seconds. We're at 1 minute. We'll go through it one more time. So if you were going to do this squat without a barbell, you can do what's called a rack squat. Hold in here, very similar. Or, I'm going to hold one weight, goblet squat, we hold right here in the center. So you choose what works for you. Doesn't have to be a barbell. In the second set here, I'll show you with the kettlebell. So I'm going to rack, bring my hands together in a very similar position. The balance will probably be a little easier for me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For my lunge, I'm going to go at my sides and step back. Step back lunge. We can have a little forward lean. Chest angle should match your shin angle. Shoulders are tucked down and back. I got 3 more to go. All right, we'll switch legs. Another 10 here. And recover. Well, if my legs weren't trashed from 2 days of basketball and 1 day of tennis, they're certainly feeling it now. These are the type of movements, though, that work on your legs. We're working bilateral, unilateral. Very good for the foundation of your body. This stuff keeps me playing basketball and tennis. A lot of modifications you can do for these movements, these 2 that we just started with. If you're curious, want to find out some more, shoot me a direct message here on Facebook. You can reach out to my Harley-Davidson email. It's raymond.hearn@harleydavidson.com. Stop in and see us sometime. We're at the PDC and we're at Pilgrim right now. So done with that circuit. I'm just going to strip the barbell down. I'm going to take this pad off it here. Go over the next circuit with you guys. So superset number 2 is a barbell hang clean for 10. And then we're going to do a push press. That's an overhead press for 10. We're going to pair those 2 together. So this one is a little more upper body focused, some lower body involved. Some of my previous videos I went over the hang clean technique. I'll do it real quick here. So for me with a barbell, my grip is going to go just outside my hips. I'm standing about hip distance, maybe a little inside. And I start that with an RDL. That's the first component of the movement. It's not a full RDL. It's about a quarter to a half RDL. So I'll show from the side. I go kind of mid-thigh. So that's the start of the movement. So to warm it up, I'll just do a quick RDL into position. Some of the good coaches here will incorporate like a little shrug, and then you can go high pull, just lifting it up. bar path should be straight up. So even on that high pull, I don't want it to drift way out in front. I got to pretend this barbell is, 150 pounds or heavier, where I can't just cheat and arm it. So, the hang clean, hinge, explode and catch it up here. So I catch it in a front rack position. So I cheated a little bit there because it's so light. But if you look, my hands are just a little outside my shoulders. That's what's comfortable for me. I'm catching in a front rack position. Then I accept it in an RDL on the finish. So I'm going to do a few more RDLs just to prime the hamstrings and glutes. The shrug. And then we'll go high pull. And then I'll get underneath it. If it was a little heavier, I might have to drop down lower to catch it. And when I catch, I'll get a little wider when I hit the floor with my feet. I'll accept it, reposition. So the hang clean's the first one. I know it's a lot to take in there. If you don't have a barbell, grab a set of dumbbells. And I'm not going particularly heavy here. Same thing. Straight up, I get underneath and catch it. That's gonna be a little easier in the catch position. You can manipulate your grip. So it's hinge, explode, path is straight up. I'm just showing you in slow motion. Get underneath it in a wide base. So that's what you can do with dumbbells if you don't have a barbell. Second movement, barbell push press. So I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to go thumbs from my hip width for grip. I'm going to hang clean it into position. I'm going to do a partial knee bend. Drive it up, lock it out, straight up, bring it down. I kind of bend when I catch it. And we just keep it here and go right into the next one. So it's here, we lock it out, accept it. 10 of those. Don't have a barbell. Grab your dumbbells, same thing. So we're ready for this second circuit. 10 hang cleans, 10 push presses, 90-second rest. I can blab a little more with you guys. Whew, legs are feeling it. That first circuit was a doozy. All right, so our hang clean, here we go. Hinge, explode underneath, catch it. So I caught from a low position there, catching my RDL. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go right in the push press. So I'll hang clean it. I should have just left it there. I'll bend, drive it up, lock it out, bring it back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here I have a split stance. Reason for that, helps me support my lower back. So being taller, having at times poor upper posture, upper back especially, when I press overhead and my feet are together, I tend to hyperextend my back a little bit naturally. So sometimes I'll catch in a split, or I'll even push press from a split. So then when I go to press in this split position, I can stay a little more vertical and have less arch in that lower back. Heart rate's up there. We'll rest another 60 seconds, and we're just gonna run through it again. Definitely feeling it today. So honestly, I'm a person who doesn't do a lot of overhead barbell work just because of my posture. Sometimes it'll cause more issues than what it's helping with. So I prefer, dumbbells. Can manipulate my hand position better that way. Or I'll do, strict presses, which are a little more controlled. These are a little more explosive, these movements. They're good because you're working on speed, you're working on power. Everybody needs to do some form of that. Doesn't necessarily have to be with a barbell. Well, heart rate's back below 100. I guess that means it's time to do it again. So whatever you got, kettlebells, dumbbells, barbell, grab it. Grab it. Let's do that hang clean. One refresher here. Hinge, mid-thigh, shrug it up, get underneath it. So that was a low catch position. That's me keeping my arms dead and not cheating. It's still okay to catch here. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And from this position, I'm going to go split stance this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Step in, accepting that hinge position. Sit it down. Done with the barbell. Go ahead and recover. Woo. Glad that circuit's over with. One circuit left. Set of dumbbells or kettlebells will be ideal for this here. We're going a little higher in the reps, so we're gonna go lighter in the weight. We got a kettlebell swing for 20, and then a bent over from a hinge position row. So I'm gonna grab a couple 40-pound kettlebells here. I'm gonna get this barbell out of the way. Well, I should be able to get 20 rows with this. So refresher on the kettlebell swing. Just because most of you who know me, I'm a stickler on this one. It's not a squat, it's a hip hinge dominant movement. I'm gonna step up to it. It's almost right below me. I'm gonna bend at my waist, drive my hips back, drop my hips a little bit, keep my shoulders higher than my hips, bending at the knees and the hips, and pick it up. And then I go right into my swing. I want to show you guys from the side real quick here. Now, even though this is a weight I can get away with, well, poor technique to lift, you want to build good habits. So, again, I'm stepping right over the kettlebell. I'm going to bend at my knees and my waist, because I want to bend more at my waist. I'm going to grab so my shoulders are slightly above my hips. I'm going to tuck my shoulders down and back. And that's how I go into my first swing. And when I set it down, notice I'm in a very similar position. So when you're done, don't just round your spine and throw it down. We want to put it down the same way we picked it up. The second movement, I'll let you guys pick what you want to do for grips today. I'm going to use a neutral grip. So I'm going to hinge, just like when I was picking up that kettlebell, only I got 2. And I'm going to row with a neutral grip. You can do pronated to a neutral. You can do supinated. I'm gonna let you guys choose today. Those are our two movements. Let me catch my breath here. So we'll go 20 swings, 20 rows, then recover. So I'm gonna go with a 40. Could I swing more? Sure. But I want my technique to be good, and I want that to be the same for you guys at home. Step over, bend at your waist, stick your butt and hips out, hands out in front, shoulders stay above your hips. I'm tucking my shoulder blades down, let's go right into it. Arms are dead. Finish in an upright position by snapping my hips forward. I'm not hyperextending. My arms are not lifting. They're just holding the kettlebell. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hinge. Set it down. Now I need both of these guys. So I'm hinging, I'm gonna deadlift first. And drive my hips back. 20 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and down. Woo! Yeah! Oh, that felt good. That felt good. I'm gonna grab a little water, suck a little air, and do it one more time. I think I went a little too heavy on those rows, I don't know. Form might have been slipping. We got one more time through that circuit. I'm just gonna wait for my heart rate to get down around 115, and we'll go again. It's not that I'm losing my breath because of the movements. I mean, they're tough, don't get me wrong. It's the talking at the same time. Holding your breath too long. Here we go. Back down below 115. So let's swing it again. Step over the kettlebell. And if you don't have a kettlebell, you can swing a dumbbell. I just grab it, over the head, stand it up a long way, and you can do the same thing. You don't have to do a straight arm swing either. You can bend a little bit at the elbow. Some people like that swing variation a little bit better. All right, here we go. Stepping over, drive your hips back like you're sitting back, bend the knees just enough to get down and grab that kettlebell. Pull it back, snap up. Hinging at the hips, that means we're bending at the waist. Arms are dead. Hinge, set it down. Uh-oh. These rows could be tough. Let's hammer them out. I'm not going to talk. Let's go. Deadlift them. Hinge and row. sweating. Oh, and done. Oh yeah, okay, what's up? Oh, oh boy. Woo. And I got that heart rate up to the 150s, heads up. And that, my friends, is the workout for today. So, my recommendation actually for the cool down would be to start with what we did at the beginning, the mobility flow. So if you didn't join live, go back to the beginning of the feed, grab a couple mats or have a seat on the carpet and go through that mobility flow at a slower tempo to cool down, and you guys will be good. Thanks for joining today, you guys. Those of you who joined live, I saw Rick on there. Got a little sweat going today. So, hope you guys have a good week. Come see us on site sometime or reach out to me. We got great trainers on staff. We can always work out virtually over Teams also. Take care, everyone.